What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wayne Jones Show on YouTube. This episode was recorded in September of this year, that's 2020, with the amazingly talented Alicia Gilroy. Now, she's a very good friend of mine. She's super funny. She's an actress living in Hollywood, all the way from Edmonton, Alberta. Enjoy this episode. Here she is, the one, the only Alicia Gilroy. So here we are, everyone. Welcome, Lisa. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Wayner.
Yeah, all right. A fellow Edmontonian.
That's right.
All the way down in Los Angeles.
Oh, God, you're lucky to be in Edmonton.
You got the fan going, I see back there. Just a little corner of the video, I see the fan going. So is it warm down there right now?
Yeah, it's hot as hell, and I don't have AC in the bedroom. Here's the thing. Steve and I are in a one-bedroom apartment, and he's working full-time from home, so it's turned into like a death chamber for me where there's no rooms for me to be in because he has all these like Zoom conference calls, and I have to be fully clothed all the time. I have to be quiet. I can't just be like flushing the toilet constantly, which is my natural habitat. It's been difficult. So yeah, I'm really
saying he's providing, he's running at the ship and providing, and he's this wild animal running from room to room, causing trouble in his place, right?
Well, listen, yes, that's right. He's the only one with a job right now, so he gets priority. If he wants to work out in the living room, that's fine. And then I'm relegated to the bedroom where there's no AC and I have to poop in a corner.
Well, sometimes you got to poop in a corner, I'd say that often.
Yeah.
So is he getting a chance to watch any hockey at all? He's a good Canadian kid.
Yes, he was watching hockey, but then Oilers didn't make it into the playoffs. And then listen, he was devastated. I'm sure you were devastated. Secretly, me, in my inner heart, a bit overjoyed. Because I don't want to watch the heartbreak of the playoffs. I don't want to watch him watch it.
Really?
It's like, at least you're saved from that now. Isn't there a part of you, Wayne, that's like, well, thank God now at least I can rest my emotions instead of having to go through with this?
Oh, because it's like it's like asking a heroin addict, like, isn't there a part of you that just doesn't like the bad part of heroin? They're like, dude, the good part is so good.
Yeah, but guess what, Wayne? In this time of a pandemic, there are so many heroin addicts that are getting a free like detox. It's like if they couldn't meet with their dealer for a while or they had to go somewhere else, it's like that's free rehab. For you, Wayne, my love, is free rehab. Run away.
Yeah. I don't know. I heard different. I heard that on the streets there's more heroin than ever from all my heroin guys that I've been talking to. Okay, I have no heroin guys.
But, no, I'm sure all the heroin people are back in business. But in the beginning, it seemed like some people might be stuck some places and not able to deliver the drugs.
You'd think, but I heard the opposite. I heard the streets were just booming because I mean the drug dealers never played by the rules in the first place. So they're not going to all of a sudden play by the rules with a mask and a stay home,
No, I know, but like a bus maybe isn't running that they would normally take, or they had to like get on a plane to deliver a thing.
I'll give you
Give me buses and planes.
All right, buses and planes, international drug smuggling. I'll give you that. That's shut down for sure.
Yes, thank you.
So it's a heat wave in LA right now?
It's pretty damn hot. But I don't know. Everything's a heat wave when you're not in Edmonton.
Edmonton's a mess right now for weather. You know how you talk about Edmonton being like the craziest weather city where it changes from hour to hour? Well, that's today was just the most prime example of that. Like, it was kind of sunny when I got to work in the morning. Around noon or 1, there was a torrential rainstorm. It was like a hurricane.
Is this a part of your podcast, Wayne, where you give like a weather report?
Yeah.
Listening this morning. Yeah. It was.
Even if you saw, I looked over there real quick. It was like a little light went off.
Oh, you have your little chart behind you?
Just the weather light. Just the weather light.
Oh, okay. Extra riveting too for the people who are listening to this a week later.
Yeah. Yeah. But so torrential rainstorm, felt like I was in a hurricane. And then it clears, sunny again, then got really cold, then got really warm, like 4 full seasons today in Edmonton.
Gosh.
All different temperatures. Literally, I was out on the street and I was hot.
Well, I hope your mom packed your knapsack with a windbreaker and layers and a water bottle and all the things you need.
I bring the things I need when I need to go places where I need those things, and then I usually leave them in the car. So that's kind of my style,
The car is the man's purse, isn't it?
Absolutely. I love the way you said that. That's amazing. The car is the man's purse. That's where I keep my lipstick. So I got my
Oh, you got
concealer.
tons of shit in there. I know
I
it.
got tons of shit. I got lip balm, the blue one, the blue circular medicated one for extra power because Edmonton's very dry. It's very
Yes.
dry up here. When I used
Yes.
to live in Toronto, as you did as well, I'd fly back to Edmonton. As soon as I would land, my lips would start bleeding.
Oh God.
Yeah, instant lip bleed as soon as I
Well,
landed.
you okay. Well, I'm glad that you have your car first because you pulled how like the boyfriend classic move is to dump all his shit on his girlfriend. You've done that to me, Wayne.
Did I?
Yes. Remember the first time we did an improv show together in LA? We're like about to go up on stage. You're like, oh, here, babe. Here, take my watch. Take my chain. Can you come on, wallet? Here's my cell phone. Oh, I got this. Just emptying your pockets. Just give me a whole Christmas sack of
Yeah.
goods.
Wow, I did that, huh? Well, thanks, thanks for being there for me because that's
I'm
me.
always here for you.
Yeah, no, when you said that, I was like, that's exactly who I am inside. I've done that. I've done that to many a poor person over the years, where it's just like it's go time. Take all my shit, please hold it, because I'm gonna lose
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Who needs a purse when you have any female friends
There you go. There you go. Or a car.
or a
Or
car?
a car,
Right.
right? So, I want to know since I was living in LA. I lived there for 2 years and a month or something like that. You're still there.
Mm-hmm.
I escaped back to Canada. But one of the things I miss the most, I haven't been there since the end of May. So June, July, August, September, maybe like 3.5 months. One of the things I miss the most is just the different food, especially the Mexican food, the tacos, just certain little places, like the spicy chicken. So I want to know, what are since you've been in LA now and you've got to expand your culinary portfolio. What are your top three places that you like to eat in LA?
Oh wow. Okay, hold on. Let me grab my portfolio out
And
of my bedside drawer. This is
please,
for those of you who can't see, it's a leather-bound portfolio. It has a witch's eye in the middle and a magical clasp, similar to the one in Hocus Pocus.
mm,
It's been blessed by Satan so that no one else can open it but me.
wow.
Yeah. Okay. So, and the pages are made of human skin. This is all ripped directly from Hocus Pocus.
You go all the way with your portfolios.
Yes, I really, really do.
You
You
do.
think you're a foodie? You're wrong.
I just got a standard like Staples portfolio. That's mine. It's just boring. Yours is
Yeah,
woo.
minus years of dedication. So I'm excited to report that I do have a favorite restaurant, and I don't think I've ever had a favorite restaurant before. And I was told this by Uber Eats today because I got a notification, and it said, "Your favorite restaurant is calling.
Oh,
BBQ plus rice." Have you ever been there?
BBQ plus rice. It sounds like a Korean place.
It is. So it's
Wow.
BBQ, and then the plus symbol,
That's why
rice.
the Koreans throw a lot of plus signs in. They throw a
It's
lot of plus signs in.
it's indescribably good. It's so
Wow.
much food. You get this giant bowl. I always get the bulgogi bowl, and you
Mm.
get all your stuff
Kimchi
in
and
there.
your
You get your kim.
bean
Yes, yes, yes,
sprouts.
yes.
Do they do like a potato thing, or do they do another kimchi that's kind of a thicker, crisp, chunkier one?
Yes,
Oh,
there's a few different kinds of kimchi.
yeah,
And yeah, the bean
so
sprouts, the
good.
rice, the bulgogi. Oh my God, it's so good. They give it to you in this giant ass bowl that's so big that I take it home. I immediately go into the kitchen and put half of it in a Tupperware container. I eat the other half. I'm already so stuffed, and then I can have the rest of it for lunch the next day. And this giant bowl is $10. So it's like
Wow.
Steve and I eat. We order out for dinner there, and the total always comes to like, actually, I think it's less than $10 for a bowl because we always get two bowls and then a side of this like spicy chicken, and it always
Yeah.
comes to like $21. It's an absolute
Wow.
miracle.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you brought that up because I love Korean food, and
I know you do.
that's what's so amazing about Koreatown in LA. It's unbelievable. Like I, have some very close Korean friends up here that I grew up with. One of my friends, he's never been to Koreatown in LA, and he's very Korean, and he talks about Korean stuff all the time. And I'm like, man, I just want you to see K-Town in LA because it is like a whole city within a city. Like
Yeah,
K-Town, I think K-Town is like a third of LA. Like that's how big it is. Really, when you go around it, you go south, go towards downtown. It becomes sort of a mixed Hispanic and K-town neighborhood. Excuse me. And for someone who loves Korean food and loves, Korean culture and all that, it's so amazing. And I miss that. And you're talking BBQ plus rice is that.
You would love it. You really
Oh
would. But
man.
I know you wouldn't be separating any for leftovers the next day. There's no way.
Yeah, I thought that. I didn't want to say that because I was
You'd
like,
eat, but listen,
that was my
like,
instant thought. I was like, that would be done. I'm like, if I live with Lisa, it'd be over. She thinks she's putting it there. Boom, I would do it. I'd be like, I'll buy you Uber Eats the next day. Just call me let me know, and I will send that for lunch for you. But I had to eat that tonight. That wasn't making it out of the, you know what I mean?
yeah, and I will be honest, like usually if I eat it at like 8, I'm kind of going back in there. I'm a bit titillated by the leftovers around 10:30 p.m.
Thank you. These are the secrets I wanted to get
Yeah.
to.
I'm just honestly, I'm trying to save money right now, and so it's the food is so cheap and it's so good. But then also, there's been many times I've eaten the whole bowl, and I just can't even. It's like painful, and I started to think, Lisa, you're a grown ass woman. Why are you eating to the point? You're not a dog. You're not a Labrador. There's no need to be eating to the point of feeling like you're gonna die or
Yeah.
can't walk, or it's like extremely painful. So anyways, in my twilight years, I'm trying to eat like a normal person.
Well, you're inspiring me because I've been fighting this battle my entire life, like barely be able to walk out to the car, get in the car, undo my pants, like
Yeah,
recline the seat, put the air conditioning on, and just like
sleep for 3 days.
try, try to survive what I just did to myself, you
Yeah,
know?
it's horrible. We shouldn't be doing this.
But Korean food, everybody knows when you go eat Korean food, of the people that go eat Korean food, it's better to go with more people because they have so many different types of dishes when you go eat family style that you want to
Hmm.
get like, 20 different things, but that's impossible with two people, right? You have to find a BBQ plus rice where it's a small, nice, you know, sized portion with the extra chicken, which I
Hmm.
would love to taste that spicy chicken because they do their spicy chicken really well too.
And the side of chicken is $2. It's just crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's also $2 for the dumplings, which I also love. I'm a big dumpling hoe.
I love dumplings. We buy them from Costco here. We go through them like hotcakes. We buy kimchi too from Costco, and we
Yum.
actually eat that faster because that goes with everything. So what's your
Yeah.
number 2 spot after that?
Oh God,
2 and
you're
3, and they don't have to be like that was 2, that was 3. Just tell me 2 more great spots to eat in LA. That's all I want.
okay. Okay. Number 2 is okay. So actually, well, because price is factoring in, just so you know. So like
Sure.
BBQ plus rice, I believe, is the best dinner you can get in LA for that amount of money.
Right.
If you want to spend a little bit more, but maybe even a tiny bit more delicious too. Have you ever been to Pine and Crane?
No.
Wayne, I'm shocked.
Where was it?
It's
Where is it?
it's also like Asian. There's one in Silver Lake, and then it has a sister restaurant in like North Hollywood called Joy. I think it's called Joy. But anyways, they have dan dan noodles. So they're like these
Right.
thick noodles and with like a peanut sauce. It's
That's
basically,
Chinese style. That's Chinese
oh my
style.
God, it's so fucking good. They have also this like beef roll thing that's like deep fried, Oh, it's just amazing. Those dan dan noodles I could eat all day. I'm pretty sure each bowl of dan dan noodles has like an entire jar of peanut butter in it. That's what it feels like, anyways.
My best friend's name is Dan Dan.
Dan dan, really?
Yeah.
Twice?
Yeah. Well,
Wow,
because his name's
lucky.
Dan, his name's Daniel, and when he was in high school, junior high, he had lots of Asian friends too. So they probably gave him the nickname Dan Dan from the noodle, and then it
Oh,
just stuck as Dan Dan. So little like my mom calls him Dan Dan when he comes over as the Dan Dan, like he's Dan Dan, you know. But
I
everyone
love
was,
that.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Bam Bam from Flintstones.
Flintstones, exactly. He's just like that. Except I don't know if he was named after a noodle. He's more named after what he does.
Yeah, right. That's exactly right.
Bam's around.
Yeah.
So okay, so we got some Chinese noodles, we got the Korean food, both Asian choices. I'm very impressed with you right now because that's my niche. You're hitting that right now.
Okay, well, my third place is also Asian. It's my favorite
Yes.
ramen restaurant. It's called Keep
Wow.
Ramen on Larchmont. And we live close to Larchmont, so it's like a 15-minute walk. Oh God, I get the ramen with gyoza in it. Like I said, I'm a bit of a hoe
Dublin
for,
ho. Yeah,
yeah.
we all are.
Um, oh God, it's so good. So but you know, that place kind of depends on who we get as the server, because you can get the chicken ramen comes with 2 gyoza in it, right? But I love the gyoza so much. All I simply want is for there to be no chicken,
More
double the gyoza.
Yeah.
But there are some people who will do it and some people who will not.
Oh, you ask
So
and some say no, some say yes?
yes, so it always depends. I know the younger girl always gives it to me and the older one will never.
I feel
Or
like
she
you have
pretends to
to,
like not
like,
understand what I'm asking for.
that's when you got to re-raise and you got to get up and go, okay, because the other people do it for us. So if we can't get that, we're going to leave. And
Yeah, right.
you
Wayne,
have
would you
to.
really do that? You
Absolutely.
would stand up, you'd simply flip a table,
Well,
throw your menu in a fountain,
I don't
and
think
say,
I would need to get there for that. I could do it in a simple look. I'd be like, but
no.
they always do it here for us. We always get more
God,
dumplings.
Wayne, I would be mortified
I
if you
would
did
look at
that
the
out for
chef.
dinner
I'd
with
be
me.
like, I look at the chef. I'd be like, we can do more dumplings, right?
This
Oh
is
yeah,
why you are going to be an excellent car salesman.
right. It's
You just
exactly it.
refuse to take no for an answer.
Yeah. Well, you can't take no because you don't want no. Do you? Do you want no? Do you want no dumplings and two
Wayne,
dumplings?
I'm a woman. No is what I hear all the time.
Uh,
I don't have the straight white man cojones that you have. Okay.
well, you gotta just go for it. You gotta go for it. I don't think to myself, I'm a straight white man and I'm gonna do this. I think to myself, how am I gonna get these dumplings? You know what I mean? And I do it in a
Yeah.
respectful way. I'm not trying to intimidate anybody. I'm just saying, guys, we could do
Wayne,
dumplings, right? We could do
listen.
dumplings, right?
Wayne, come on. You're what? You're 8'2", 560 pounds. You can't not do anything in an unintimidating way.
Yeah, it's the burden I have to bear. It's the burden I have to bear, you
You
know.
think you're being a polite gentleman, but really people are like, he's gonna pop my head like a watermelon.
That does help, I guess, because especially what you said at first, I think I'm being a polite. Just in my head, I'm like, there's no way I could be any gentler.
Yes.
I feel like a roll of toilet paper that's supported by marshmallows sitting on
Mm,
a cloud. That's how
right.
gentle I feel.
But really,
But
you're the bear wiping your ass with the toilet paper.
yeah, with like bark,
Yeah.
just with bark. Anyways, just my point here is don't give up on the dumplings, all right? Just give a little pushback sometimes and treat yourself, you know? That's my new saying. That's been my saying this summer is treat yourself. But
Treat
it's like
yourself.
treat yourself. So like
Oh,
that.
Wayne, you must have come up with that. I've never heard that before.
I definitely didn't come up with it. It's just my saying this summer.
Okay.
I've commandeered it. I stood up and I said, "Hey, I'm taking this saying, all right? And it's
Treat
mine.
yourself.
Treat yourself, you know? Try it out. Try it out tonight or tomorrow, you know?"
I'll try. But you know, it's like it embarrasses Steve to no end when I even ask. Like the lady's coming over, I'm like, okay, here I go. I'm like gearing up to ask for my special ramen. And he's like, please don't do this. You know, he says that he thinks that I have like a secret Karen in me, which really terrifies me. He's like, I could see in about 20 years if you don't check that Karen, she might like take over.
What's the male Karen equivalent? Like what's the
Mm,
name? What's the name?
it's got to
Is
be a Wayne, probably.
Oh, I walked right into that one, huh? Jeez.
The male
Yeah,
Karen, I don't know. I feel like secretly, I don't know, is every man a Karen? We just don't call him a Karen. Every man just like says and does what he wants and asks for what he wants, but we don't
no,
say
because
that he's like,
but the Karen is more of like takes a stand in a situation when she doesn't need to take a stand
yeah,
sometimes. Yeah,
that's true. And I have seen videos like of male Karens. You can really tell
yeah, like
like they're it's a
men
hill
when
they're willing to die on for some reason.
exactly, and men in general just are like less considerate, I think. You know, like but when it comes to like taking a stand on things, they're too lazy to like take a stand half the time on things. But a Karen, she's got a lot of pent up energy, and this is her moment to shine. You know,
Mhm. Yeah, I don't
um,
know what a male Karen would be. Maybe like a Stu
Carl.
or Doug. It could be like any middle-aged white man name, really. But I guess some of them sound too cool.
Yeah, like a Karen is gotta be like a it's gotta be like an Alphonse or something. No, maybe not that. Like
That's too
a
cool.
Nathan. A Nathan, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
I like
Sure.
Nathan. All
Yeah.
my Nathan listeners now, unsubscribe. As soon as I said that, unsubscribe. That's what's gonna happen.
Or
So
like a Richard, because like his counterpart might be Rick,
right.
who's cool, but Richard is like not very cool.
Richard's like a dick. And
Right.
Richard lends itself to dick because it is the nickname, right?
I know. I have a grandpa dick. Don't tell me about it. I got
You don't know anything about that way.
I
Grandpa,
got I got a grandpa dick for days.
grandpa dick, son.
I got that
What
grandpa
you know
dick.
about that grandpa dick? Huh? He's my grandpa. That's what I know about him. Um, so is Grandpa Dick in Edmonton?
Yes.
Does he need a car?
He can't drive anymore.
Okay, well,
Don't you prey on the weak, Wayne? Don't you prey on
no,
my grandpa
I'm not
dick?
praying. It's gonna help him. Um, remember when we performed for 10,000 people in Edmonton in one day?
Yes, I do. That was one of the most insane shows I've ever done.
Well, I'm glad
I
you
maybe
didn't
I should
forget
just
it.
go ahead and say the most insane.
That was
Because
wild.
otherwise it makes it sound like I perform in front of stadiums of people all the time.
Yeah, because that was like if you put everybody together, it would have been a small stadium.
That was so wild. And the weirdest part was like I got so many random messages and stuff afterwards because when you're performing for 10,000 people, you have no idea. It's not like you're at UCB Franklin and you can see someone text you and you're like, "Oh yeah, I saw you there. I didn't get a chance to say hi afterwards." I was getting random like some girl I went to university with aunt was there or something and she's like, "I saw you." I'm like, I had no idea. Anyone could have seen me. How embarrassing.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. It was. I had the same thing. I was like, I think I shamelessly tried to promote my Instagram. Anyways, I think I yelled it out one of the shows. I was like,
That
yeah, if you
checks
want,
out.
if you want to see even more comedy, check out White Brown and Wayne on Instagram. And then it was like 47 random followers out of nowhere because it's just that many people, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But that was fun. That was a fun. That was an interesting show because I remember like early in the very first show that we did at like 9:30, it was like I remember making some joke about weed and just looking out and hearing the laughter and seeing the laughter, but not able to see any person.
Yeah.
Like you said, right? Like I don't know anybody that was in the crowd except the very front row of the politicians and the city workers who we were told not to make fun of, and we ended up making fun of most of them anyways. But that row, I could see some of them, but other than that, it was like a sea of just energy, you know?
Yeah, right. Well, for the people at home, it was a show for the city of Edmonton. I don't
That's right.
even for the workers of the city of Edmonton
Yeah.
as like a fun. It was like their professional development day or something.
Yeah, and we had to weave those professional development principles into every comedic
Yes,
sketch
right, right.
across.
Nothing brings the comedy like some educational principles.
Yeah, but it's the best when like a bunch of silly because we had a great crew, you, me, and Siddiqui and Shannon Blanchett, and it's like the like nothing takes care of a serious situation like four absolutely silly people who are just going to be like, oh, okay, like I can't even remember one of the things. I think culture, I think was culture one. I don't know, but I think I don't even remember any of them. But it was like culture. Okay, you know what's cultural, and then it was just like something that wasn't
Yeah, right.
a 1 second way in, and then just have fun, right?
Yeah. Oh God, that was wild. And it's hard to do improv with mics. I always find like we had those Britney Spears mics,
Yeah,
and I hate doing improv when I'm mic'd
yeah.
up because suddenly every choice you make is like, okay, this is your choice, baby. Like you can't mutter anything under your breath. You can't like be subtle about anything. You're just screaming everything through a sound system.
Oh, I got a nightmare story about doing that one time. I was doing a show in Edmonton at the Rec Room, and I was really sick. And I got sick like the day before the show or something, and I was like, no, like I'm horrible at improv when I'm sick, right? Like I had a head cold and I was just out of it,
Hmm.
and I'm like, man, I would 100% cancel this show if I could, but I couldn't because there was like 200 people coming, and it was for me and another guy doing the show together, and I don't perform with this guy anymore after this show because he just performed in a way where he was trying to like I'm sure you've been in an improv scene, I guess, with somebody at some point where they're they're not playing with you. They're trying to like almost mess the thing up. They're like playing in a way that's sort of really
Like keeps calling out the logic of the scene. Like, dude,
yes,
you just walked into the window. What are you doing? And you're like, okay,
exactly.
cool joke. Now what?
Now you've ruined everything. Like
Yeah, right.
yeah, you stopped any storyline. You stopped any, you know what I mean? So that's what happened. And I was so sick. So not only was I sick, but I was playing with someone like that, and it was a but it was a night where I had brought so many friends out and
Shoot.
family, and I wanted to just kill it, and it ended up being like a hard like 5.5 out of 10, you know.
Mhm.
And I got off and it was one of the worst shows I think I've ever done for sure. And I got off
Shoot.
stage and I still had the Britney Spears mic on,
Oh no,
and
Wayne.
we went into the back room,
Oh
and I was like,
god.
because it got kind of like funnier, and I was still live in the whole theater, and I was like, well, that was okay. And the
No.
whole place heard me go like, well, that was okay. And then boom, the whole place laughed.
So
And
were you backstage and suddenly you heard like a big laugh from out there?
bigger than any laugh that was in the
Oh
whole show.
fuck.
The biggest laugh of the whole show was me saying how the show was only
Oh
okay after.
god, Wayne.
It was
Oh
so embarrassing. Lisa, I didn't even want to go out of the room. Like, I didn't want to see anybody. Because
but also there's some respite in knowing that they didn't know who said it. It could have been you or the
oh,
other guy, right?
absolutely not. They knew it was me. It was my
Oh
voice,
shoot.
clear as day, very good microphones, very loud
Oh
system.
no. And the other guy, I talked like this.
And the other guy was Mario. So
Yeah, right.
yeah. So that was like
Fuck, I'm
that
so
was one.
sorry. I feel for you. I feel it in my plums.
Oh,
Oh,
it was, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it was nothing. But in that moment, that
yeah.
was one of my most embarrassing moments of my life for sure, because I didn't want to go see anybody after.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go see anybody. It hasn't happened a lot, thank heavens, but it's happened a few times in my career where it's gone bad, and I don't want to see people after. I don't want to go up and and see their fake. That was that was good, because they're like always like, that was good.
Yeah, and you are such a great salesman that you know that even if the show's bad, you come out afterwards like confident and like, yeah, so, and you just don't talk about it. You don't apologize to anyone, but because they already heard you say like, well, that was okay and sound defeated, now you're like, well, I can't go out and just pretend like I
That's a
didn't think it was kind of bad.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Actually, that's exactly what happened. I came out and I was like, I can't.
You can't pretend that didn't just happen.
Well, or I can't angle it another way.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have to like kind of admit it almost right away. So that was, but that was that. Other than that, every other show I've ever done with a live mic has been great. But what you say is interesting about how you don't like doing them, because once you choose what you're doing that. You almost have to like to agree that once you put that mic on, you're limited in what you can do. And then once you like tell yourself that it's easier to play simpler, then it's kind of, then you can go from there rather than
Right.
like trying to do anything and then getting all messed up. Because I think I've been in a situation or two where it's like falling off me and the tape's coming off something. And
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, the mic pack's hanging out of your pants in the back and you're
just
trying to,
swinging like a
oh god.
pendulum behind me, as I'm not even making that great of a choice in a scene. I just, the pendulum becomes funnier now. And
Or the worst, the very worst that we haven't even talked about is if like the audio cuts in and out. It's like you work
oh
so
yeah,
hard to build that momentum with the audience, and then if you lose them for a second,
yeah.
it's like you got to start from scratch.
And then the house techs like, I got two mics here, and you guys can use those if you want. And they come running out and give you
And
actual
you're
like,
like, oh great, yes, I'll lose a hand while I do this
yeah,
improv too. That'll help.
awesome. Yeah. Now I could just be doing stand up, but I'm going to continue with my improv now, holding, so yeah, those are always interesting. But they sometimes you run into a place where they have really like high tech, like sleek ones, like you tape across, you're gonna like it right to there, and it's
Yeah.
like thin and this like perfect little earpiece, and they're probably like $2,000 each. And then sometimes you got like just the old school 1980 radio broadcast thing with the, so
Sometimes you just have a megaphone on on the street.
sometimes you just gotta scream. I remember the first time what was it? I think the first time I did the Shocker with Colin, I went in no mic. No, we did no mic, but it's a 800-person theater at the Citadel. It
But
was,
at least like the Citadel theaters are designed for that kind of sound,
yeah,
right?
but
Because they're designed for plays, and those they have the mics from the ceiling. No.
I think the stage is mic'd. Yes, I think it's like the frontal mics, and I guess mics from the ceiling as well. But I remember coming out and being like, "Oh man, I should have got mics," because I feel like maybe the last 10 rows or something couldn't hear that well. because I came out
Right.
and I was like, how's everybody doing? Well, I did a silly thing where I came out and did a rap, like I did like a hip hop dance routine with two hip hop dancers, these two women from Edmonton that were fucking awesome dancers. And they danced to like Panda, 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 I got bros in Atlanta, chasing Godina in the Fana, hey. And they were like just killing it, killing it. And then I came out and started dancing. And then as soon as it was over, I was like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I did my like intro, but I was completely out of breath. And then that's what I was trying to project to the very back.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's like so big that I was like, man, like this is hard. I felt like my voice was just cutting short at the very end. But it all worked out great. It all worked out
Yeah.
great.
And you got a voice that can handle that.
I do. I do. I'm probably gonna have to turn down my audio on this after. I'm gonna be like 7 times louder than you. I
And
get.
your whole life have people been telling you, like, or your teachers always like, hey, Wayne, bring it down. And your parents like, Wayne, shush.
Uh, I
Like, were
mean,
you the kid at sleepovers where someone else is like, okay, dude, like, we got to be quiet. My parents are sleeping. And you're like, so anyways, I was at this awesome. Were you that kid?
I think they would like. I think they were afraid of me or something, and they wouldn't tell me directly. They would tell everyone to be quiet, but like I was clearly the loudest one. So really, it's like, Wayne, can you be quiet? But they're like, let's not tell him directly because I don't know, like kids look crazy. I don't know, you know. So I think that was what was going on with that. But
Well, I mean, you chose the perfect profession.
that's right. Everything I do, I try to scream to where I can talk loud. That's why church is hard for me. Churches have always been hard, you know?
You can't whisper. You were born without a whisper.
Well, yeah, my whisper is no good. I lose all power once I start whispering. It just falls apart. But church, so I grew up going to a Russian Orthodox church, and you stand almost the whole time in the service. It's like a 2.5 hour service, and you stand. Like you don't sit unless you're very old or you have to sit, or there's a couple brief periods where you can sit. So to be quiet and not to be able to sit, to have to stand the whole time, it's damn near impossible for me to do this.
Yeah.
I'm swaying everywhere. I can't be still, bending over, balancing on one foot. Like it's hard. Some people can stand, but I'm built the way I'm built. I'm like a ham and I'm like a ham.
Ham on a toothpick.
I'm like a ham on a toothpick. That's exactly 2 toothpicks and a ham. And the toothpicks are close together. And the ham is a lot of width.
Basically, you're describing the body of like Gru from Despicable Me.
Yeah, I'm like him. And there's another guy at my work right now. He's built the same way. And I went up to him. I'm like, hey, look at us. We're both built the same way. Hey, all torso. First thing I said, he's like, yeah. And then we were talking today. He's like, yeah, you know what? You've been in Hollywood, eh? You've been hanging out with some stars and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I see some people here and there. And he's like, I was on the Jenny Jones show. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
whoa, interesting. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, they flew me out to Chicago. They liked me, and then they flew me out, brought me back. And I'm like,
For what? What
a
was he on there for?
random.
Also, remind me who Jenny Jones is because
I don't know.
Okay.
She's just another one of the white like 80s, 90s
Talk show host.
Yeah, one of the 90s talk show hosts that was just Jenny Jones. I don't think it was as big up in Canada. Like we didn't watch that one as much. It might have been a hit in the States or something. But
Or it was just like daytime TV and we were too young to.
yeah, I mean, I had a choice between like Price is Right and Jenny Jones, and I was always going Price is Right,
So did he tell you what he was on the show for?
Yeah, like there's some woman that he knew, his friend. I think she might have been in some sort of. I didn't understand what he said. First of all, I'm gonna try to.
I hope he doesn't listen to your podcast.
He's gonna listen.
He's gonna be like, why did Wayne give me that enthusiastic thumbs up after I told him the whole Jenny Jones story?
No,
Only to now admit he had no idea what I was talking about.
No, I liked his story. I just didn't understand what he was doing on the show. Really, there was a woman he was with, and she was doing something like, I don't know if it was a relationship thing or it was something. She was doing something wrong, and he was belittling her for this. He was like telling her she's wrong, she's stupid, she shouldn't be doing this. He was like the friend that was giving it to her. And then and then some huge powerlifting woman came out. Another woman that was like a big drill sergeant weightlifter came out to drill sergeant him. Like
this just sounds like you're telling me about a dream you had last night.
I'll probably have it tonight. But she was I know it really does. She was drill sergeanting him to do push-ups for what he was saying to her. Like, and then I
Oh,
remember,
wow, like a chain of punishment. That's interesting.
yeah, and that's kind of what those really greasy, like
Yeah, like Maury or Jerry Springer or something.
exactly, like Jerry Springer and Jenny Jones was kind of like that style too, right? So
Oh, interesting.
yeah, it was like that style. So, but that was a really interesting conversation to have with that guy. But yeah, so yeah, he's also shaped like a ham on two toothpicks. That's what we were going from. He's gonna hate me. He's not gonna talk to me anymore after he listens to this. I
Are
love
you
him though.
finding being back in Edmonton, people have a lot of questions about LA or?
Oh yeah, nonstop. Yeah, nonstop. People are always asking me, um, why are you here? They're like, well, why are you? Why did you come back? You're living in LA. Like, why on earth did you come back? I'm like, well, because COVID hit and it changed everything, right? So like that's why, and I'm blessed to be from Canada. So I took the opportunity to go back to where I'm from. Like not everybody's in the same situation, but for me, it was a viable option, right? So,
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
it was just wasn't, it's LA is either a really easy city, a really hard city, or a tough city to get buy-in, I find.
Mm.
Some people have it really easy, some people have it extremely hard, the worst in the world, and some people and most people it's still tough. Even if they're doing okay, there's still a lot of things they have to juggle, right? So, um I just always like to talk about the positive things that I miss the most about it, which always involves the food. That's why I came at you with the food stuff because
Oh, right. And I
yeah,
gave you my three, didn't I? I'm really impressed because you did not tell me you were going to ask me that question. And normally something like that would throw me into a tizzy. Thank God I had my portfolio with me.
I'm glad. Yeah. Glad you kept that. What was it? What kind of hair was it that was made out of?
Oh, everything's human. Just
Human. Okay.
human hair. The
Right.
pages are human skin. Yeah.
I don't know why I assumed different. Of course it would be
Right.
human hair. But yeah, so I mean I like for me, I'm always like I miss the Mexican food, the weather, and just the like this just the opportunities and the excitement and the different things that go on and happen down there and stuff. But I feel like that is taken down a bit with the pandemic, as it is everywhere,
Oh,
like
totally. But
yeah.
when people ask you about it, when like that guy at the dealership being like, "Hey, you like see celebrities all the time?" Do you have like a go-to LA story that you tell everyone? Like a celeb sighting or like a something like that?
Uh I don't because when I see like a celebrity, I don't really consider that a story. You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
God, wow. You and I are very different people.
I know, no. Most people who are with me when they see a celebrity, that's like a whole thing that happened. But for me, I see them like I see them if I look on TV. I see them if I see them in person. To me, it's the same thing. If I talk to them and we had engaged with each other, then there would be a story there because then something would happen. So like I actually started telling him since he said he was on the Jenny Jones show in Chicago. I was telling him that I saw Vince Vaughn in Chicago on the street one night and talked to him and I kind of gave that story. So I didn't even answer his LA story. I was talking about a Chicago thing, but
What's
Vince,
the height comparison between you and Vince Vaughn?
I think he's taller.
He's
I
a
think
looks like a really big guy.
he's tall. I mean, I got to remember because we definitely had a few drinks in us, and we were walking down like a nice downtown Chicago street on a Sunday night randomly, and we had gone to a big MMA fight in like suburban Chicago to watch our idol Fedor Emelianenko fight.
And
It's
when
on
you
the
say our, do you mean you and Vince Vaughn or you and someone else you were with?
me and my brother and my best friend and Dan. Me, my
Okay.
brother,
Oh,
and
good.
Dan.
Good. Thank God
Yeah,
Dan was
yeah.
there.
Dan's coming back. So he's so nobody was out in Chicago because it was like Sunday night. We were walking down the street and there was just Vince Vaughn and this like long-haired silver fox guy and a blonde woman. And I think the blonde woman was a Calgary real estate agent who Vince Vaughn was either married or was dating at the time. I'm not sure
Oh,
which one.
interesting. Aren't
Yeah.
on sidebar the hottest women in the world are all real estate agents. It's just like a job for hot girls.
When you're a hot girl, sales is a really good business to be in. Really good business to be in. I think if you're a woman in general, but I noticed that the hot girls, because you got a bunch of guys coming in that maybe never ever talked to a pretty girl, right? So it's like, okay, whatever. How much is it gonna? 25 grand? Okay, sure, whatever. Let's just talk for a few more minutes. Whereas me, it doesn't work that way when they come to me. They
Yeah,
go,
but you
ah,
know that a hot girl couldn't do your job at the dealership. A man would see a woman in any capacity trying to sell them a car would be a non-starter.
well, they look at me and they go, I don't know if I want to buy a car from a ham on two toothpicks. This guy, it's just at the end of the day, look at this guy, you know? So, yeah, but I mean, I noticed that. I noticed that in sales and real estate in these type of things, you know,
Yeah, like
where
Selling Sunset. Have you seen that?
no, but that's what the guy who was on Jenny Jones told me his favorite show is to watch with
Oh
his
my God.
wife.
Listen, all we're like circling around the web of connections. Okay, but wait, finish about okay, so Vince Vaughn was with the hot real estate agent and
And
a
this
silver-haired
and a
fox.
silver-haired fox, and I was so excited to see him because huge Vince Vaughn fan, right? Massive Vince Vaughn
He's so
fan.
funny.
Yeah,
Biggest guy with the smallest nose. That's what I always say.
I'm gonna start saying that. But he was in like rounders and swingers, like swingers. He's flexing his charm, his charisma, and the way he talks, the way he's talking to the. I remember when he's picking up the waitress, and he
That's every movie. He's like dripping with charisma.
right, and I just love it because I don't know, I just love that style of man, you know. So so he I see him and I want to be like Vince. I've been a fan of yours forever, like since whatever I first saw you, which in my head was like, which I later would find out was maybe like 16 or 17 years. But for some random reason, I was like, Vince, like I've been a big fan of yours for like 10 years. And I said 10, and then right away I was like, why did I do that? I've
How
known him.
fucking embarrassing, Wayne, you piece of shit. That is
I know,
inexcusable.
I
That is the most
know.
embarrassing story I've literally ever heard.
What did I do that for? Why did I do that? But that's how big of a fan I am of his, where that actually means a lot.
That's really sad that you like still think about that. You're like, I said the wrong number.
I did because it was like the right number. I think was like 16 or 17. So I shortchanged myself by 6 or 7 years. When Vince might have been like 16 years. Like, come on upstairs, let's party. But instead,
No, Wayne, please listen. I'm going to help you right now. I'm going to help you to get over this. Okay. Welcome to Jenny Jones. This is my episode. Today we have Wayne Jones, who's been thinking a lot about this interaction he had with Vince Vaughn.
that's right.
Now, Wayne, I know that you said that you really regret saying 10 instead of 16 in regards to the amount of time you've been a fan of his. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been following me around for a bit.
Right. Okay. So Wayne, let me help you think about it in a new way. So if you were a celebrity and somebody came up to you on the street and just random circumstance, okay, they're passing and they happen to notice you, and they say in an off moment, dude, I've been a fan of yours for like 10 years, versus now rewind, dude, I have been a fan of yours for 16 years and 3 months. Now, what's the change in vibe you get there with that specific number? It gets a bit creepy, right? So maybe just with a nice, relaxed fan that you would want to have a drink with, it would be that like 10 years guy. It wouldn't be the 16 years exactly guy. It's
Well,
like, why were you thinking about that? Why did that number come to your head? Why do you know that off the top of your head?
well,
You're
tell
too
me
much of a
this.
fan.
Well, tell me this, Jenny. Why didn't he invite me up then after I said 10 years?
Well, listen, Wayne, I don't think he would have invited you up if you said 16 or 17, or even if you offered to suck his dick.
That's fair.
He
That's
was
fair.
having a night with his real estate agent lady. What more could you ask for?
And the silver fox, what was he up to? That's what I
Exactly.
want to know. That was a sexy conversation, whatever was going on there. But anyways, I said, Vince, I've been a fan of yours for 10 years. And he goes, hey guys, how you doing? And we go, good. I said, we're here from Canada, just having a vacation. He said, oh, that's awesome. I said, I'm an Oilers fan. And he's like, oh yeah. I'm like, I know you're a big Hawks fan. He's like, love the Hawks. And then this whole conversation is happening as I'm walking towards him. So he's
Oh, wow.
forced
Okay.
in this conversation. He's standing outside like a luxurious condominium building. But
And this is
nobody.
another gift of your great booming projecting voice, is that you can start a conversation with someone from a block away and
Yep.
carry it until you've reached them.
Yep. And I'm using this. I'm using that to my full capacity right now, right? And there's nobody on the street. There's nobody in between us. There's nobody after us or before us. This is an empty Chicago downtown street. So he's listening and he's talking to me. We're getting closer and closer. And right as we pass by, he looks at me and he goes, all right, well, listen, you fellas have an absolutely wonderful night. It was great to meet you. Take care. We'll see you boys around, huh? And we're like, all right, Vince, see you around. And we kept walking, and it was a seamless, didn't even stop. Like I said, like
Wow.
nine things to him, and it was sweet, and it was cool lines, and he gave me the most like swingerish,
Yeah.
charismatic
What a
goodbye
cool guy.
right at the moment, and it was just seamless, and it was just awesome. So that to me is like a celebrity meeting or
Oh,
sighting.
yeah. He seems like a guy who would really take care of his fans too. Like you couldn't have an awkward interaction with him if you tried, because he'd make you feel like, yeah, I got your back, no problem. All right, see you around. Knows when to end the conversation before it goes on too long. Knows like just gets it.
That's
He's a
a
cool guy.
key. That's a key because I love talking to people that come to my shows too. I love talking to them. But I learned, especially in Toronto at Comedy Bar, I learned like, man, you gotta cut it off at some point, or because I would sometimes you'd be talking to somebody, but somebody else would be standing there and want to talk to you. Maybe a good friend that came to watch
Yeah,
your
yeah.
show, and they're like they gotta go. They have like 10 minutes, but you're talking to somebody who's like a super comedy fan and sees every show in the venue every single night, and they want their hour with you after, right? And I'm sure you've been in that situation a billion times.
Yeah, and I think I'm getting better at just like shutting it down. Cause when I was younger, I would never have like the confidence to say like, okay, well, thanks, gotta move on now. But now I just go like, thanks so much for coming. I'm gonna go say hi to a bunch of people. But then they can't catch you kind of like, if there was no one else, they can't catch you kind of like aimlessly meandering looking for someone else to talk to.
Right. There's gotta be people around, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a good one. But when it comes to LA, I end up talking about hockey and like playing hockey down there and how that's had such an interesting, you know, how that is of of my time in LA, that was my most fruitful, best networking. I feel like I've got the most out of LA from my hockey playing, which was
Right.
really interesting because didn't expect that. I knew it was going to help, but I didn't expect how just how involved a lot of the players that I play with down there are in the industry and how many years they've been in the different ways that they're involved in it and all the different types of jobs. And really a cornucopia of occupations.
Wayne
Really.
just did like a flourishing hand symbol with one hand like a rainbow over the screen. It was gorgeous. A cornucopia, he said in italic font.
Yeah. Thank you. It sounds like you're like closed captioning, closed captioning me. I like that. Closed captioning always freaks me out whenever it gets turned on. I never realize what it is for the first 10 seconds. I'm like, who's saying that? What's
No,
closed
I fucking love it because I drove from Edmonton to Toronto when I first moved, and then I drove from Toronto to LA. So both of those are like 33 something hour drives. And I listened to movies with closed captioning. It's the
Oh,
best time killer
really?
because yeah, I would
And
recommend if
you're
anyone.
watching it on an iPad?
No, no, you just
You
listen
just
to it.
listen to it.
Yeah, so then it's
Oh
like
my
listening to a podcast,
gosh.
but so I recommend doing it if you're going to try it. It's great for long road trips, and do it with a movie that you've seen before but not in a while, so you can still like conjure the images of what the characters look like and what they're doing. Oh,
Okay.
it's just like it's a fun hybrid between like a audiobook and a movie.
Wow, you're really into that.
It's
I
so good
I'm gonna
because
try this.
it's like
You
I
looked
hate
off
you,
you
mom.
looked you looked off into space. You're like, it's just like a closed captioning on a road trip is just like a fun like
Well,
you
how
go
can you watch? Like it's groundbreaking technology. You can basically watch a movie in
no,
your
I'm doing
mind
it
while you're
now. You
driving.
sold me on it. How
Thank
into
you.
it you
Okay.
were. You sold me on it.
Oh,
Does it
for it.
make it longer?
No, because they just do it. It'll be like, yeah, like I said, like, I hate you, mom. She said, slamming the door, walking into the kitchen. What's going on? He sits down. They just
They do
like,
it fast. They
yeah,
they
yeah,
get
really
it in
fast.
there.
So they
Wow.
only do long descriptions if there's like a break in the dialogue, but otherwise they're just like peeking in to say what's happening.
Oh, you know what I would love to do that with is a movie that I know I've seen, but I don't remember it at all. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, like a movie that I like, or I've seen half of it or something. You know, that
Yeah,
would
I didn't try it with any movies that I'd never seen because I feel like
mm,
that might be a bit confusing.
right. You're losing the visual medium there completely.
Yeah, so you don't know maybe sometimes like who's talking, but if you've seen it before, you're
Right.
like, you understand.
Wow, interesting. I'm gonna have to do that. Um, so yeah, when people ask me about LA, that's what I say. What's your LA story? And they ask you, have you seen any celebrities?
I have seen celebrities, and I'm such a loser that it always changes my life. And I have like a list on my phone. Steve and I share it. It's like a joint list on our iPhone, so that if we're out and we see someone, we like put it in the list and then it shows up. So the code word for us for celebrities is pigeon, because when we first moved to LA, we would be like, we were in Go Get 'Em Tiger, and Gillian Jacobs from Community walked in, and I was like, I, I, I wanted to tell him, but I couldn't say the words. It's like celebrity or Gillian Jacobs. So, anyways, we devised a system where we go like, oh, look at that pigeon, or like, there's a pigeon outside, or like, oh, I thought I saw a pigeon, and then that person knows like I have to be on the lookout. There's a
Oh,
celebrity on our midst.
wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I saw Alicia Silverstone, which like changed my life because I grew up
Wow.
on Clueless and she's a goddess. And I've randomly, the only one I've really ever talked to, which is very random, was outside of the improv. Aaron Carter was just there having a cigarette, and I was a
Whoa.
little drunk, and so I like went up and started talking to him. We talked for so long, and it
He's
was
a
so weird
he's a weird
because
dude.
yeah, it was a bit weird. And also at the end, he was like trying to take my phone so that he could like download his music onto it, like or like play
Of
it. Like he's like,
course. Of
just download the
course.
album, like it's my new album. Like was really selling it, and it was like, oh dang.
Yeah, he's that guy's been through a lot, I think. I think he's estranged from Nick. They don't talk, right? Like they're enemies.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Um Alicia Silverstone. So have you seen the music videos, Aerosmith's music videos where she's the
Yes, isn't
star of
that
them?
creepy? I think about that all the time.
I don't think it's that creepy because
Wayne,
it's
Wayne, Wayne. Listen, you are Steven Tyler. You have a band. You
okay.
want two
Okay, first of all,
sexy
you're
girls to be dancing around in their underwear, and you cast your own 18-year-old daughter and her friend? That's fucking creepy as hell.
okay, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. I want to help my daughter launch my daughter's career. I trust
Oh,
my daughter. We have a
Jesus.
healthy father-daughter relationship. There's onset protocol for safety and everything's above board. I want to give her a chance to she loves Alicia Silverstone. It's her favorite actress. She grew up on Clueless. She wants to do the video more than me. She's begging me, Dad, put me in the video with Alicia. And
Okay,
I'm
I'm Googling images right now because I can't remember what they, yeah, it's like they're
Steven
doing like that.
Tyler.
They're getting dressed montage. They're taking off their clothes. I don't know. I think it's very strange.
You know, there's three videos, right? Three different songs, and it's like three of the greatest rock hits of all time.
Wait, the Liv Tyler's in all of them?
Yeah, boy, they
Oh,
both are.
I
Well,
didn't know that.
I know that Alicia's in all three, and I think Liv's in all three, but Liv might only be in one, and Alicia might be in all three. I don't know. I don't know. But
I love Alicia.
crazy, amazing, and crying. She's in all of them, and those are three absolute hits. Like my favorite songs ever. Eros is my favorite band, so
Okay.
I'm always gonna defend everything they do, even if it's like years of drug abuse. But Steven Tyler is like the most um his sexuality has been very his sex almost his sexuality and his has been fluid, and he's a very like he dressed very feminine a lot of times on stage, and he's very everywhere, right? That guy's like an artist, but he's also been like crazy drug addict and with lots of women, and wrote the greatest rock songs of all time. So I think by that time in the 90s, he'd already like come back from the dead 6 times. Having his daughter and her friend in the car waving around their shirts or something was like nothing for him. It was like another day at the office.
Right. And I also read that I mean, Liv Tyler didn't know that Steven Tyler was her dad for like the first 10 years of her life. She just
Yeah.
didn't know who her dad was. And then she found out because she was backstage at their concert, because mom was like involved at some in the music industry somehow. She's backstage at the concert and she's standing beside this girl who looks exactly like her. And it's Steven Tyler's other daughter from another woman.
Oh
And that's when
wow.
she asked her mom, like, is that guy my dad? Because this girl looks exactly like me. Isn't that
Yeah.
fucking crazy?
She looks a lot like him too. Like they have a lot of similar features because he has that long face, big mouth, and she kind of has that big wide mouth,
Yeah.
and I
She's
always
so funny. like will follow her on Instagram and stuff. Everything she does and how she talks is just so soft all
soft.
the
Yeah,
time.
she
Just
was
I
so
love
soft
Tyler.
in Lord of the Rings. She was the softest elf,
Yeah. Yeah.
the softest elf with the pointiest ears you could ever see. But big fan. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
See, my whisper's not good. It's not a good whisper. I gotta stay loud and proud.
Loud
Um,
and proud. That's you, Wayne.
that's me. That's me. So yeah, the weather up here, it's been tough. It's been it's been weird, and it feels like winter's coming. And I dodged the last 3 winters in Edmonton, being in LA, and I might have to face this one head on.
Well, you
Um,
can do some good old fashioned Canadian boy hockey at like an outdoor rink. Would you like to do that?
Absolutely, the outdoor rinks are gonna. You're the first person I've talked to about outdoor rinks. since this whole COVID thing began. And that is a great point. I think the outdoor rinks are going to be busy this winter. Like a lot of times people are there, but it's tough to pull up to an outdoor rink in Edmonton and it be busy. Like have a lot of guys for a game because there's so many of them, right?
Oh, that's what you do? I don't know anything about like male hockey culture. So you would like roll up like a kid at a playground and be like, "Excuse me, sir, you want to play my hockey game with me?"
I don't ask anybody. I just put my skates on. I skate out there and I look at everybody.
Oh, wow.
Wayne's here, guys. Get ready. Wayne's here. I come in like I come in intimidating on that one for sure because that's part of the game of hockey, right? Is you want the other guys on the other team to look at you and be like scared. You know
Yeah,
what?
but if you don't have a team, how are you going to invite someone to play? You just scare them into playing against you?
I scare the whole rink, and then that way it's all covered. Whoever's on my team is like, yes, someone like
Young, old, men, women, children, I'm going to scare you into playing against
girls,
me.
boys, toddlers, kids, adults, parents waiting in the car, all of them. But no, it's you're supposed to have like a special plastic tag that goes on your. Back in the day, you'd have a special plastic tag that goes on your hockey lace on your skate, like a purple one, and that means that you could skate at Westbrook Rink or Aspen Gardens Rink or Greenfield or Millwood. Like all the different community leagues had different colors, and that's how they would know that you paid your $5 fee to be able
Oh.
to the rink, so they can like flood the ice and
Oh,
that kind of
okay.
thing.
I thought you were saying like you show up to the rink and you put like a tag on your laces so that people know you're interested in playing hockey. Like some sort of like sexy swinger sign.
No, you just put a tag for that, but now I don't think that's even a thing anymore. I think the communities just pay for their own rinks or something. Or maybe the residents pay, but people just show up, and you'd rather have a guy come out and play with you than be like, no, you don't have the right tag,
Oh, yeah, of
because
course.
you'll actually stop the game from being better that way, right? So,
So do you have buddies that you could like get together to play a game with that play like do you have enough friends who play hockey?
oh, tons,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So it's not an
tons.
issue then.
Oh yeah, no. This is Edmonton. Like this is as all everybody. This is what we do here. We play hockey. Like I don't even. And even if you don't, like I said, you just show up and you can jump in a game, right? And they usually do sticks in the middle. So everybody gets together before the game. They all throw their sticks in the middle, and then one guy. So let's say you have.
Oh my God, this is another swinger sex thing. Let me guess. The boys skate around, you pick up someone's stick, whoever it is, you go home with.
So some similar. So, but it's a little more like. There's a little more of a eerie aura to it.
Ooh.
So what happens is let's say you have 18 guys, right? They all throw their sticks in the middle of the ice, and then they all crowd around, and someone gets designated to be the one person to grab the sticks. So then that person is okay. He's picking the sticks, so he has to go up to the sticks, close his eyes,
You're
kneel
kidding.
kneel down.
No.
Yes, close his eyes, kneel down, put his hands on the pile of sticks, start feeling for two sticks. Once he has two sticks, then he'll throw them both to the side at the same time. And eyes closed the whole time. Feel for two more sticks. Throw them to the
No.
side.
Wayne, are you
Throw
fucking
'em.
with me? I don't know enough about hockey to know if this is real or not. You're
No, it's
lying.
real. No, this is real.
I'm finding it very difficult to believe that a grown man who plays hockey will get on his knees on the ice and close his eyes. The closing of the eyes feels so like
Sticks in the middle.
juvenile.
Do you know why you gotta close your eyes?
Because what do people have like their names on their sticks?
Exactly. You can't see the sticks. What if you know your buddy's stick? You'll grab it and throw it
Okay,
to
so you
the
would
side,
really
right?
only do this with your friends. Like if you got
No,
rallied
no,
a
no, no,
troop
no.
at the rink and you were all strangers, there'd be no need for eye closing.
Absolutely, you have to do eye closing still.
That's so weird.
You have
It
to do
just
eye
seems like
closing
such a
still.
vulnerable move for like such
Like if I saw someone
butch.
doing it and they didn't close their eyes, they'd be like, "Hey, close your eyes. Close your eyes."
Wow. Okay, so
You
there
know?
is like a secret sleepover element to hockey. It's like
But
a bit of a slumber party.
but nobody else would be like,
So you're like, guys, close your eyes. I'm gonna try singing for the first time. Tell me if you think I'm good.
yeah, yeah, you sound really good. And then when we open,
That's what happens at every female slumber party at some point.
really,
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's always one girl that's like, I'm too shy, but I think I might be a really good singer.
and your friends are
Will you
like,
guys,
"Oh my
you guys
god."
close your eyes and like turn around, and then she's like, Hallelujah. And then she opens them. She looks around all insecure, like, was that good or do I suck? And everyone's like, no, Jenna, you're so good.
So good. I would totally buy your album if you had one. If you ever get to the work ethic to make one, I would totally buy it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, sticks in the middle. Once they're all done, they're all done. It's always funny because when it gets to like the final two sticks, the guy's eyes are closing. He can't find them, and he's moving his hands around, and finally gets the last two sticks. And that's how you play. That's how you start an outdoor hockey game. But like you said, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna skate outdoors a lot because the team stuff is weird right now. Like I am on a team, and I got asked to play on another team, and but it's like you have to have a certain amount of players. The COVID protocols are really crazy. You can't
Oh,
have
for
like,
the indoor arenas?
yeah, they're like really intense. Like you have to just follow a lot of rules. Like basically there's whenever you're playing and anybody out there that knows, recreational sports or recreational like adult sports knows that, you got to sign a few forms and a few waivers and a few rules and regulations sheets and stuff like that. But this is like that, all that stuff plus another like 50 pages of just
COVID.
COVID protocol, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, just like I don't even want to read it all. I just want to kind of sign it, but then you don't even know what you're signing. So it's like,
I know, Wayne, anything I've ever signed, I've never read.
all
But wait,
right,
I have
well,
one last hockey question, and I think it might be a suggestion in order to better the game.
okay.
So, how about the guy?
Oh, that's bold. That's
Okay,
bold,
well,
dude.
hear me out.
That's
The
bold.
guy, the guy get he. Wait, how does the closed eye guy get picked?
How does he get picked?
Yeah, it's
Um,
just like anyone could do it
his
as long as
his
they
no
close their eyes.
his stick would also be in the middle. Oh, yeah. Oh, how does he get picked originally?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, someone like me,
someone volunteers.
someone like me who's been skating around like he owns the joint would just be like, "You're picking the sticks" or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you go? I'm gonna pick the sticks. Is it because you're afraid to close your eyes because they might leave?
Well, if I said I'm gonna pick the sticks, then it would almost be like, "Why do you want to pick the sticks, bro?"
Okay, but hear me out. So this seems like an awfully long process, and near the end, the man is fumbling for the sticks that he cannot even find. So why not just save some time, close your eyes, take one stick and throw it in one direction, one in the other, and then those are your team captains, and then you do pixies like elementary school.
You could do that, but then what happens is what are you doing to the self? What are you doing to the confidence of the person that gets picked last in
Okay,
that
so there
situation,
is
right?
some like gentle camaraderie here.
Right. Right.
Partner.
That's always the hardest part in like picking people is that there's always got to be like two last people or like one last person, right? Which is always tough, And I remember when if I was a captain of one of the teams and I had to come down and pick the last person, I would always try to say it in a way where it make them feel good. I'd be like, "Oh, these two are the last. Oh, this is awesome. We get this guy and this guy. That's
Oh,
great.
Wayne, you're
Okay,
such a good
let's do it.
friend.
Let's rock and roll. And just keep it positive because that's a really like shitty feeling to be picked last. So I would never let that happen if I was captain.
That's sweet.
But yeah, so I'm gonna stick to eyes closed, sticks in the middle because
Okay.
that way the the worst player stick might have been thrown first. So it's actually
Okay.
the most fair system ever. And the part where they're trying to find it for a while after it's always fun to see someone whose eyes are voluntarily closed scramble for sticks.
So does everyone have like a chuckle, like this is a fun pre-game game, or is everyone just like get it over with, dude? Here's a
No,
stick, like do
you're
it.
kind of excited because you're hoping you and your buddy are on the same team.
Oh,
But you're like you're kind of your eyes are like peeled on your stick, and you're like, oh, and then oh, there I am, I'm over there, and then you go over there, and then you grab your stick and you look around, and your teammates start to assemble, and then you're like, that's my team. So, same way as the Pixies thing, but just with the stick. So yeah.
that sounds very fun. That's so much more lovely than I ever thought it was going to be.
Well, good. I'm glad you asked the question and we got into that. I'm glad you brought that up. Um, but I know you got to get going, and I gotta eat some food. I'm starving. So
Yeah, I gotta mingle with a bunch of other people around here, so I should probably. I got other people to talk to.
you're a busy gal. You were pretending earlier like you had nothing going on, but I know you got a lot going on. You're a busy gal. You're very talented. You've always done awesome things. We've done some cool shows together, and I really hope we could do more and have
Oh,
more
we will.
fun creatively and artistically. And who knows when that will be, but I'm so glad you had time to chat today. It was super fun.
It was so fun. Thanks for having me. I'll see you in like 2025 where you have your own Rexall place for improv in Edmonton. I'll come do a show for
Yeah.
50,000 people with you.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. That's something
That's the
like that's
dream.
gonna happen. Who knows? But all I know is that for anybody out there who's like going through it still and going through this whole thing right now, there's a lot of stress involved, and I just want people to like still try new things and still do, still take risks and still get out of your comfort zone, because we're all feeling a little boxed in. In some cases, we are boxed in completely, but you know, it doesn't mean you can't maybe pick up a paintbrush and try this, or read a book, or listen to a movie on closed caption, or get a new job that you're thinking of doing, or try a new activity, or just keep. I want people to keep doing that, because I know I look at you and you've lived your life so full of excitement and opportunity, and we've both been super blessed to have that, and I want that for everybody. So parting words is just, everyone just keep your head up and have fun, and we love you, we believe in you, you know.
Thanks, Coach Wayne.
Get out there and win that game. All right, because it's all about winning. Oh man. All right, Lisa, well, thanks so much for everything, and we will see you soon, guys. If you want to see Lisa, also check out her check her Instagram out at Lisa Gilroy, right?
At the Lisa Gilroy. Yeah.
At the Lisa Gilroy. She's wonderful on there. Do you use Twitter?
Yep, I'm on Twitter.
Same thing, at the Lisa Gilroy.
I'm on TikTok now too, baby.
You're on TikTok too?
TikTok
nice.
too.
TikTok too. Wow. The sequel. What is there anything else you'd like to say, Lisa, before we jet?
That's it. That's all. Stay safe out there, and gotta get back on the ice, kid.
Get back on the ice, kids. Love, peace, and chicken grease. See you guys soon. Later.